You know that person at work, nice car, nice clothes, always talking about their investment portfolio at lunch. Sounds like they're killing it financially. Then one day you find out they're living paycheck to paycheck, and you're sitting there thinking, how? How does someone who looks that wealthy have absolutely nothing? Here's the thing nobody talks about. There are two completely different types of people walking around looking financially successful. One group is actually building wealth. The other group is performing it. And from the outside, you genuinely cannot tell them apart until you understand the $500 rule. My name is Nick, and I spend way too much time thinking about the gap between looking wealthy and actually being wealthy, and why that gap is quietly destroying more financial futures than any stock market crash ever could. If you've ever wondered why your income keeps going up, but your savings never seem to follow, hit subscribe and give this a like. That's exactly what we're about to fix. Stick around, because around the middle of this video, I'm going to show you a specific spending test. It takes about 4 minutes. It will tell you exactly which side of this line you're currently on. Most people don't like what they find. Let's talk about what wealth actually looks like, because most people have it completely backwards. We think wealthy people drive expensive cars, live in big houses, wear nice watches, and some of them do, but here's what the data actually says. The Federal Reserve Survey of Consumer Finances found that the median millionaire in America drives a car worth less than $35,000. Not a Tesla, not a BMW, a Toyota, a Honda, something reliable and paid off. Meanwhile, the guy leasing the $65,000 Mercedes on an $80,000 salary, his net worth is often negative. He's paying to look wealthy while quietly going broke doing it. This is what economists call consumption signaling. Spending money not for the thing itself, but for what other people think about you when they see you with it. And it's the single most effective wealth destroyer ever invented. So what's the $500 rule? Simple. Every time you're about to make a purchase over $500, anything, you ask yourself one question. Is this moving money toward me or away from me? That's it. That's the whole rule. Sounds obvious, right? Almost insulting in how simple it is. But here's the thing. Most people have never actually applied this question consistently, because when you start applying it, really applying it, you realize that almost every purchase over $500 that feels good in the moment is actually money moving away from you permanently. Let me show you what I mean. That $800 iPhone upgrade, moving away. Your old phone still works. You're paying $800 for the feeling of having the newest thing for about 3 weeks until someone else gets a newer one. That $1,200 couch because your current one is boring, moving away. Nobody's net worth went up because they owned a better couch. That $3,000 vacation on a credit card, moving away, and then some, because now you're paying interest on a memory. But here's where it gets interesting, because the rule isn't about never spending money. That's not the point. The point is to make the direction of every major dollar conscious and intentional, because the people who actually build wealth, they're obsessed with finding purchases over $500 that move money toward them. Here's what moving money toward you actually looks like. You spend $600 on a professional certification that gets you a $4,000 raise. That's not a $600 expense. That's a $3,400 gain. You spend $800 on a used piece of equipment that lets you do freelance work on weekends. Every month after that, money comes back toward you. You spend $1,500 fixing up a rental property instead of replacing a car you don't need. That's called buying an income stream. The math on this is almost violent in how obvious it becomes once you see it. Two people both spend $500 this month. Person A buys the new PlayStation bundle. Person B buys a course that teaches them a high-income skill. Fast forward 2 years, person A has a gaming console worth $200 and no new skills. Person B has a skill that's generating an extra $1,000 a month. Same $500, completely different financial trajectories. One moved money away, one moved it back and kept it coming. Now, here's the part that'll make your stomach hurt a little bit. If you're investing $500 instead of spending it at an 8% annual return, that single $500 decision becomes $2,400 in 20 years, every single time. So that $800 iPhone upgrade isn't really $800. It's $3,800 in future wealth you quietly handed to Apple. The $1,200 couch is really $5,700. The $3,000 vacation on credit, once you add interest, becomes closer to $15,000 in lost future wealth. I'm not saying don't live your life. I'm saying know what you're trading. Okay, I promise you a test. Here it is. Grab your last 3 months of bank and credit card statements. Every purchase over $500, write it down. Now, next to each one, write either T for toward me or A for away from me. Did it buy you an asset, generate income, build a skill, improve your earning power? That's a T. Did it depreciate the moment you bought it, make someone else look at you differently, fill an emotional gap for a few weeks? That's an A. Most people doing this exercise find 80 to 90% of their big purchases are A's. And that's not a moral judgment. That's just a math on why their savings account isn't growing the way their income suggests it should. The goal isn't to get to 100% T's. That's not human. That's a robot. But if you can shift from 85% A's to 60% A's, your entire financial trajectory changes quietly, permanently. Here's the thing most financial content misses. The $500 rule isn't really about $500. It's about identity. The person who performs well, the nice car, the new phone, the Instagram vacation, they're spending money to convince other people they've made it. They need external validation that they're doing well. The person who builds well, they already know they're doing well. They don't need the car to tell the story. The brokerage account tells the story. The emergency fund tells the story. The rental property tells the story. Nobody else can see it, and they genuinely don't care. There's a quote I keep coming back to. Thomas Stanley wrote it in The Millionaire Next Door back in 1996. He surveyed thousands of actual millionaires millionaires and found one thing consistent across almost all of them. They were invisible. No flashy cars, no designer clothes, no performance, just quietly, consistently moving money toward themselves for decades while everyone around them was busy looking wealthy. The $500 rule is how you become that person. Not overnight, not dramatically, just one intentional purchase at a time, slowly rewriting your defaults until building wealth isn't something you do, it's just who you are. Here's how to actually implement this starting today. Step 1. Set a personal $500 threshold. Any purchase above your number, could be $300, could be $1,000 depending on your income, gets the question, toward or away. Step 2. Add a 48-hour rule to every away purchase over your threshold. Want a new phone? Wait 48 hours. Still want it? Fine. But 70% of the time, you won't. The urge passes. The money stays. Step 3. Create a toward me list. Write down 5 to 10 investments in yourself or assets that would actually move money back toward you. Course, certification, side business equipment, index fund contribution, rental property fund. Every time you feel the urge to spend big on something moving away from you, look at the list. Redirect. Step 4. Do the statement audit quarterly. 3 months of purchases. T's and A's. Watch your ratio shift over time. That shift is your wealth building in real time before the numbers even show it. The person at work with a nice car and the empty savings account, they're not bad with money because they're irresponsible or stupid. They just never learned to ask which direction the money was going. That's the whole game. Wealth isn't about income. It's not about intelligence. It's not about timing the market or finding the right stock. It's about spending 40 years consistently moving more dollars toward you than away from you. That's it. The $500 rule is how you score. Start the audit, pick your threshold, ask a question every time. Your future self is either on that porch, paid off, retired, quietly wealthy, or still refreshing a bank account hoping the math somehow works out differently than it did last month. The difference is just the question, toward or away. Start asking it today. I'm not a financial advisor. This is educational content. Your results depend on your decisions, your discipline, and the math, which for the record doesn't care about your feelings. It just keeps running. If you like this, the next video you should watch is the weird thing that happens to your brain when you hit $50,000 saved. And if you haven't already, subscribe. New video drops every week. See you there.